How about I take that off first? That's great. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Girl Chat Sports with Mo and Mel. It's Wednesday, per usual. We're here ready to talk some sports. Mo, you having a good week?
I am. You?
I am. It's been busy. I've got my Mariners shirt on because we are still believing it is quite the wild card race in the American League, which we'll talk about later. I know your Dodgers are well off and good and seem to be doing great. So, baseball, it's getting that time of year. So, a little excited over that. Kind of just counting down games to see what happens here.
Yeah.
But we got a great guest for everybody tonight. I had the pleasure of meeting Maggie last night at the Aces game, so we'll talk about the Aces game, get to know Maggie a little bit. But please welcome to the show Miss Maggie Hendricks from Bally Sports. Hello, Maggie.
Hello from the Hampton Inn.
Vegas's finest, right?
Exactly.
I mean, and I do want to ask this later anyways, but I mean, the life of sports journalism and where it takes you. And I mean, living out of a suitcase, I can imagine, for multiple days, if not weeks along. But kind of, if you can give the viewers and our listeners a little bit a background about you, kind of like your tenure with in sports journalism and being a writer in sports, and kind of who you've covered and what's been your show here.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to just talk about sports with women. It's fun.
Yes.
I've been doing this about 13 years. I started with Yahoo Sports writing about the Beijing Olympics from home and kind of went from there. And then there aren't many sports that I haven't covered. So like I've done all the Olympic sports, winter and summer. I covered MMA, I covered the UFC for 5 years. Did some football, just about everything. I had a radio show in Chicago for 3 years about Chicago sports. And then a couple of years ago, a friend of mine, I got laid off from USA Today. It's been 3 years now, but, and he knew I was looking for work, and he said, "Hey, The Athletic is going to start hiring people to cover WNBA teams. Would you be interested in covering the Chicago Sky? Because I'm based in Chicago." And I said, "Sure, let's give it a try." I mean, I knew enough about basketball that I knew I'd be comfortable with it, and I had no idea this amazing community that I would be pulled into. That is the WNBA, people covering the WNBA, the fans, the players, the coaches. It's just this insanely fun and welcoming world. And every time these games go crazy and all these people like jump in and are like, "Oh, I should watch the WNBA all the time." It's like, yeah, I know you should. Why aren't you here?
Well, I met Maggie because as I'm sitting down into like our like the section for us in media, she's like, "Look it," and it's like Twitter screens and Twitter's going crazy, and it's the Sky game has gone, it's down to I think it was like the last like 30 seconds, and it was a close game. Then it was like next time overtime, not first overtime, second overtime, and then I finally pulled up on ESPN Plus, and it's delayed, and she's like, "They won!" I'm like, I was like.
Well, that's
such a good time. Such a good time. The WNBA, I'm from Seattle. I think I had moved out of Seattle right before or right after the Storm got there, but I was never a huge WNBA fan. I mean, I grew up playing basketball, but I watched NBA, I watched, NFL, Major League Baseball. I just wasn't a big WNBA fan. It wasn't until Vegas got the Aces, and of course, I'm a UW alumni, and so is Kelsey Plum. So I knew that she played for the Stars, and I was like, okay, well, maybe let's check it out. And then we got to start going to games, covering them, and it's like, I love the WNBA. It's a great community, just like you said, like the people, the players, the coaches, I mean, the staff, everybody seems to be legitimately good people, but...
My internet jumped for a second. Sorry. I'm back.
That's okay. I was like, did she just take a nap? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
I am on Central Time, so that's what's next. But
understandable. But yeah, so beyond doing all that, what has been like, do you have a favorite place that you've been able to cover, stadium, or I mean, beyond your favorite teams, of course, and being in Chicago, or any events that maybe stuck out to you as the ones that you got to cover that were like stuck in your brain now for life, that this is one of the best, things I've got to do or cover?
I think that there are two top ones are I got to cover the first women's fight in the UFC, which was Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche in Anaheim in 2018.
Wow.
Now it's so funny because women's divisions in the UFC are just commonplace. But when
Yeah.
I first started covering it, Dana White would constantly say, no women in the UFC, no women. That's crazy. We can't have women in the UFC." So when it finally happened, like all of fight week leading up to it, every woman who was involved in the UFC at all that covered it, that like worked for the UFC, that was a photographer, I mean, we just kept hugging each other and crying, honestly, because it was just the best. It was the best moment. And then the like when the lights went out and you heard Ronda Rousey's music start, and you're hearing, Joan Jett screaming from the rafters, and the whole place is standing and yelling, and it's for a woman. Like
Yeah.
it was just I have chills right now thinking about it. It was so special. And then
Yeah.
earlier this year, I covered the both the swimming and gymnastics Olympics trials, and you see a lot of people's dreams come true again and again and
Wow.
again. And on the flip side, you also see some people's dreams get dashed. And I mean, as a reporter, as a person who writes about it, the drama is fantastic. And then also, like, I want to hug people during it. Like, I'm so sorry. It's like during COVID, so you can't. But I'm a hugger.
Speaking on COVID, how has that been for us, in sports journalism? Because obviously, a lot of people, I think, got a chance to be at home a lot and not so much travel. You're able to just kind of watch the games or cover them from far away. How did that go for you in that position? I mean, it sounds like you had just started a fairly, a new job within like the last year, and then COVID hits and everybody's on lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, so I was the beat writer for the Sky for the Athletic in 2019, and I had a radio show at the same time. As soon as COVID hit, I lost the radio job, and I lost like the Athletic just way cut down their freelance budget. So like I still was able to do some stories while they were in the bubble, but it just wasn't the same. I had worked to build a relationship with all these players, and now they were like, "Oh yeah, I think I remember you." And I was like, "No, you do," but I mean, it was a hard thing. And in the second half of the WNBA season, getting to actually interview people in person again. I mean, of course, we take all precautions, vaccinated. I always will wear a mask, whatever I need to do to make somebody else feel comfortable. Because when you're interviewing somebody, you don't want like the last thing you want them thinking about is she going to give me COVID?
Right.
So so we want them to feel comfortable. So I mean, I would have gotten vaccinated anyway, but I wanted to do everything I
Sure.
could when I'm talking to athletes. If they ask to see my card, I have it with me. You know,
Have
so it's
athletes asked to see your card?
no athletes have because I think they know it's in the policy that I have to show it to the PR people.
Sure.
So
Gotcha.
so I think they're just trusting their people. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's been so nice just to have conversations face to face again because I appreciate that we have the technology because if this was I don't know when Zoom was brought around, but if this would have hit us 10 years ago, we would I don't know what would have happened. I don't know if there would have been any kind of coverage or what we would have done. So that and also the thing about Zoom is for people who can't always travel or maybe live out of market, they can still be a part of it and cover it. So that's great. I appreciate those parts of it, but also it's just nice to be able to have one-on-one conversations with people again.
I bet. I mean, I think it was nice for us because we just decided that we're going to take our show and stay in the house and be good. And that made it easy. But like, I never thought of that. What if this COVID had happened like 15, 20, 10, 15 years ago when there was no Zooms or streaming or, FaceTimes even or whatnot? Like, that would be a whole other ball game in regards to sports and just life in general. So yeah, that's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy. But hey, we got you now here on a stream, but we also got you in person. But I mean, it is nice to be able to be back at games, just either as a fan for myself and or media. It's nice to be back in person. It's nice to see the players. It's nice to see your team. It's nice to interact with other fans. And I know for like our Aces fans, I want to just show a little clip from last night that I took because they had over 7,000 fans there, and which doesn't sound like a large number for some sports stuff, but for the Aces, that was huge. We've covered a lot of games regular season, and this was a Tuesday midweek. There's a Golden Knights game going on too for preseason, just a few blocks down, and the crowd noise and the crowd and just in general, it was just overall just I was in awe. I was in awe the whole time. So hang on. I had to do a little zoom in there at the end because that's my girlfriend Natalie, who I think I could hear the entire game as well, cheering
That
for our
crowd.
Aces.
That crowd was not only loud as hell, but also like creative.
Yeah.
When
some of the players.
Skylar Diggins-Smith came out, somebody behind me yelled, "You did an average job out there, Skylar." And I lost it. I could not stop. I was like, an average job. Man, that would cut me. Like, tell me I'm poor, or tell me I'm great, but don't tell me average. Oh,
they're good. They've got a sharp tongue behind us. There's been a few times where I've been like, oh my God, I just have to burst out laughing because what they're saying is just so hilarious. And you're just like, oh wow. Oh wow. But the game last night, Mo, your Raiders were fully packed in the house. I couldn't believe and we've seen a few guys there before, but there had to have been at least a good 12 to 14 Raiders there last night. I think half Utah Jazz was there. We had Dwayne Wade there, which was dope, and he was taking pictures and had his camera out, and it was just overall great. And then I think it was great because I think we've seen guys at women's events before, like at the Olympics or with Team USA and whatnot. And you can see the guys in the stands, but they're usually on their phone. They're on their phone. They're doing something on social media. They're sitting there watching. These guys were jumping up. They were yelling every 3-point. They were out of their seats to where we can't see because the guys in front of me were just nonstop, up and down, up and down. So to see them really get into it and to be active in the audience was, I think, was really cool. So yeah, I was proud of them. I was proud of the team, and marketing, PR, whoever brought, was able to get these women and the fans in there, I think was really great. So, but yeah, the game though. Let's talk about the game. So, these women, listen, if they can bring the first championship to Las Vegas, I think we are all on board for that. And although I think there's still some kinks, I know Coach Laimbeer had mentioned during the press conference, he's still kind of trying to figure out, what role Liz is playing now, because she's still, after COVID, she was having a hard, she's been having a hard time as far as, being in the right shape for the game and just kind of figuring out how that's going to play. She came off the bench last night, which was a first, I think, in a while. So that was interesting. But the ladies played a great game. I mean, Kelsey Plum with 25 off the bench. You had Rakina Williams with 26. I mean, it was amazing. What are your thoughts on how the Aces and the Mercury played too? And then maybe we can discuss a little bit Diana Taurasi and your thoughts about how she might really be feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was expecting it was going to be an all paint game. Like I that's what I was ready for, was like, oh, there's going to be some great battles, Brittany and Asia and Brittany and Liz, and like it's going to be all paint, which I like. I like a good post matchup. Um, but then the guard play ended up being so important, and it was so great to see that the way the Aces moved the ball around and made sure they were getting the ball into the hands of their guards and to the people who had a hot hand. And in the first half, it was Rakina, and in the second half, it was Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray. It's funny because Courtney Vandersloot had a triple double last night. I feel like Chelsea's performance got overshadowed, but she had 12 assists last night and 17 points. Like that's a huge game too, you
Yeah.
know? So I mean there was a lot of great guard play, and a lot of that great guard play was because the Post did a really good job keeping Brittany Griner in check. I did love those videos though, going back, and just seeing how Brittany and Liz Cambage kind of play off each other and
Yeah.
they're having a blast, which is what I want. Like it's a game. Yes, it's your job. Yes, it's important. All of that, but it's a game, and so why not have fun out there? Um,
Yeah.
and I loved all that. I did the media availability for the Mercury today, and the overall tone of what they said is they just need to be more aggressive, and I agree with that. There were times you saw them be a little hesitant, a little unsure of themselves yesterday, and then as the Aces continued to score and score and score, that'll always make you more hesitant.
Yeah.
So if they are more aggressive, I think we'll see. And it was a good game. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I think the Aces around the end of the third quarter started to just make that push and make it really, have a good lead on them so that they could relax a little bit. And it was fine that Liz was on the bench because she also got in foul trouble early too. So
Yeah, she did. And there was
yeah,
there was some calls that were a little shaky that, there seemed to be questions on, just like in all games, of course.
yeah,
But it did look kind of like the Mercury were kind of maybe like out of gas almost. They were running on E towards the end there. They didn't seem like, as inclined to want to keep on pushing as hard. But
yeah.
did you get anything as far from media as far as Diana Taurasi's state? And I know because we did see her in the press last night. She was in a walking boot. Not
Yeah.
that means anything per se, but of course, just taking some precautions.
Yeah. So the updated injury report from Phoenix is clean. So she is not on the injury report. She will play. I did have to laugh during media availability. I would have had the first question. I asked her, "How are you feeling? How's
Wait,
your
hang on. I've got this for you. I've actually got
Okay.
this. Hang on.
Diana, first, how's your ankle feeling? Great. Okay. Bill Laimbeer just said you're not hurt. It's the playoffs. That's the way it is.
Who's Bill Laimbeer?
Okay. That was, I mean, and so I tweeted that out, and that like that tweet is still like it's going crazy right now. But the
Oh, I
funniest
love
part
it.
is people who took it seriously and were like, she doesn't know who Bill Laimbeer is.
Oh my gosh.
Are you serious? You think
I
they're
mean,
both
just her tone. Yeah. And it's Diane Taurasi. Like, come on. Of
right?
course, how would she not? Yeah. But,
Yeah.
it's like, dealing with Michael Jordan, he's going to be sick. He's going to be injured, but you think he's going to not play in the playoffs when his team's on the line? Like, absolutely
No.
not. He'll come out there with a fractured, she'll have a fracture or whatever. I mean, it may come out after the fact, whether winning or losing. And, and as far as they go in the playoffs, it may come out later, of course, that we'll know like what kind of injury she may have had and was playing through, but she's not giving that up. She's not going to say, hey, I'm hurt, I can't play tomorrow. Like, that's not
She didn't get
happening.
to this point in her career by doing that.
No.
You don't play until you're 40. If you do that, and I'm not saying anybody who doesn't want to play through injury, like please don't do it. But that's just how Diana Taurasi is. She's,
Yeah.
and like we know she's going to talk a lot to the refs. We know she's going to yell a lot, and we know she's going to play through pain. And like you and I both saw last night, there were a couple times when you saw her wincing, you saw her limping. There were like 2 or 3 shots from the 3-point line in the second half that were really, really wonky. And I think it's because she couldn't take off for her jump shot the way she normally does, because she was in too much pain. But then Sandy Brondello said she's the one who pushed me to put her back in. I did, like I was trying to give her a break, but when Diana Taurasi's at the end of your bench saying, "Coach, put me back in," what are you gonna say?
Exactly. That's great. Talk about your Sky though, and this kind of surprise win over the Connecticut Sun, who, in basically everybody was thinking it's going to be the Connecticut Sun with the Las
Mm-hmm.
Vegas Aces. They've been the 1-2 teams. Like, what? First of all, the Mercury beat the Storm, which I think maybe wasn't a surprise. I knew Brianna was out, but it was more like, dang, I figured we might be facing the Storm. We get the Mercury. This game, I don't know if anyone thought Sky was going to win this one, and definitely not thinking it's going to be double overtime.
I mean, here's the thing. When I was at the game on Thursday night, their first round game, and then obviously just I wasn't in Minnesota for the second round, so I just watched both of them from home, both the second round games. And I was impressed with how the Sky were finally putting everything together. Like they have the talent. There's no question about it. But that doesn't always everything doesn't always mesh perfectly. And so, but then on both Thursday night and Sunday, that was the Sky team that I felt like we had been promised all along, that we knew could exist. And so I watched as many clips as I could today of the game last night, and it was the kind of game where everybody stepped up, because like players like Stephanie Dolson coming off the bench, Diamond DeShields coming off the bench, they both didn't have huge numbers. Astu and Dufall is another one, and but what they contributed and how they gave breaks to the starters was huge. I don't know if this guy can, after such a high adrenaline game, if they're going to be able to take two at Connecticut. But I think either way, they are going to have getting a win on an opponent's court during the playoffs is so huge. It's so incredibly huge. So I mean, I will be at the game on Sunday, and unfortunately, it's the same time as the Bears game, less like a mile away from Soldier Field. So I hope that doesn't affect people going and being able to get there and all of that. But
Yeah.
it's going to be a heck of a game, because it'll at least be 1-1, if not 2-0 for the Sky.
Yeah. Well, and hey, I mean, we saw how the Bears performed last weekend, and maybe people are going to opt out to go to the Skies game instead.
I mean, I certainly always, always, always would. But yeah, especially who would want to watch that? Why would you want to watch Justin Fields whose thumb is now hurt, or Andy Dalton whose knee is hurt, or Nick Foles who is Nick Foles? It's
It's a
just bad.
tough call right now. It's a tough call.
I believe in Justin Fields' future.
For
But
sure. Maybe when he has an offensive line to help him out. And
maybe then.
God,
But
9 sacks. Poor kiddo. Like, that's just not the
I
way you want
felt
to start your career.
no, I felt so bad, and I'm old enough that as a Cubs fan, I remember what happened to Mark Pryor when he was pushed out too young, and he was made to pitch too young, and his arm was just absolutely decimated by Dusty Baker. So now I look at Justin Fields and I'm like, please don't be
Don't
I
be
want you to have a good future.
We don't want
Please.
you injured. No.
No. No.
Well, we look forward to how this is going to play out. Game 2 for the Las Vegas Aces is tomorrow at Michelob Ultra Arena, 7 p.m. Hopefully, there'll be just as many fans there in attendance and people to watch. I'm sure there won't be as many, the football guys, because they're prepping for games and they don't have the day off probably anymore like they did on Tuesday. But if you can, if you're out there, if you're in Las Vegas, you got to make the games. It's really incredible to watch. And these girls are really playing hard and they're playing strong. And this legitimately could be a first championship for the city, which is,
Well, wait,
to have women bring it.
didn't the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup?
No, they got second.
Oh, I swear to God, I thought they did win it. Okay, all right,
No,
all right.
we
Well,
made the Stanley Cup our very first year, but we didn't win.
didn't win it. Okay,
Yeah, so
my
we got
apologies.
there.
My apologies.
No worries. It would have been nice, but yeah, I think it would be nice to have women be the first people that bring
Oh
a
yeah,
championship here, of course, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I'm with it.
But before we let you go, Meg, I wanted to talk a little bit about the role of media journalism, women in media journalism. Of course, it being kind of a man's job, a Caucasian man's job per se. Even how do you think, or it has that changed much since your start in sports journalism? And do you think, or do you think that there will be a gradual change in adjusting that to include more women and, of course, women of color?
I think there's definitely been some growth since I started, and I think the main reason for it is like the women before me have not all of them, but a lot of them have extended a hand back to help. And so like now to me that's a very important role for me to try to do the same, and I try to. And I particularly like it's funny, there's a young white man reporter that covers the Sky, and I like him very much, and I told him, you're one of the few white men I'm ever going to send a job posting to, right? Other Like, I need to know you're anti-racist, I need to know you're a feminist, I need to know how you stand on all these issues, because if I don't, you're not getting the reference and the job posting and all of that from me. So I mean, I think it is important. Even sometimes it's just as important to send somebody a DM and to be like, oh, I enjoyed your story, I enjoyed your work on this. Because I know I've gotten those notes that have made me, I mean, tear up. Like hearing from Christine Brennan that she liked something I wrote was blew my mind. And I am not Christine Brennan, but I hope that if I ever can reach out to somebody and say I like their story, and that helps them go on, that's kind of, I feel like, is, I don't ever want to put it, I don't want to expect men to help us, because I want it on me. Like, how can I help other women, in particular in non-binary folk, and especially help women of color, black women, indigenous women, like let's talk, let's get it done,
Yeah. Mo, how
I
you
don't know if
doing?
that was
Sorry,
as
we've
eloquent
just
as I
we've
meant
let
it.
we've let the whole conversation go. I'm just like, hey Mo, I
Yeah.
mean, how are you?
Yeah,
Matt, you made a lot of great points. You said a lot of great stuff. I just, wish you the best and keep on, pushing that needle forward and representing Chicago. Great
oh hell
representation. The only question I have is, what are you expecting on the game Sunday that you're going to attend, and what are you expecting from our Aces on tomorrow night's game, or Phoenix for that matter? Because, like you guys said, you're expecting more in paint play, which I like that too as well. But what do you think is going to be the outcome, or what are your predictions for tomorrow night's game with my team? And
yeah. The Aces look so strong, and Phoenix, I think they're tired. I really do. I think they're doing all that they can to recover, but they played 3 games in 6 days. That's a lot, and the Aces are rested. So I do think, I don't know if it's going to be a sweep, but I do think the Aces are going to come away. Just from watching last night, they just looked just ready as they can be. And the Phoenix looked like they had played 3 games in 6 days. I am thinking in Chicago, I'm thinking we might have a 5-game series.
okay.
I am so, like, I feel nervous saying that. I feel like I'm going to jinx things. I want it to go as long as possible, so I can have as many games in Chicago as
Yeah.
possible. I don't really want to go to Connecticut. I have nothing wrong with it. I have nothing against Connecticut.
It's Connecticut. I get it. It's Connecticut.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to
Well,
go?
the arena is an hour away from the nearest airport, so no matter what, you have to like rent a car and drive forever, and it's
Oh my god.
and I
Yeah.
don't want to do all that. So that's literally it. It has nothing to do with the
No.
state or the people or the team. I just don't want to go deal with all
Yeah.
of that.
God, that's a lot too. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, huh?
When
Ugh.
it was between, if I was, because I wanted to follow a Bally Sports team, which Phoenix is, and the
Mhm.
Minnesota Lynx are. So I knew I was going to, either way, I was like, okay, I'm either going to go to Connecticut or Las Vegas, obviously. And I was like, God, if I go to Vegas, I can just Uber everywhere, and I don't have to rent a car, and I fly like 15 minutes, it's a 15-minute drive from the airport. Like, Vegas is just so much easier. Give me Vegas.
Yeah.
And I knew I would eat well, which I did. I had great Thai food tonight. So.
From where? Where'd you go and get your Thai food from?
Thai house, I think it was. I have to look. I don't know. I will know. I'll tell you tomorrow, Mel. And Mo, are you going to be at the game tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow. I was thinking I may attend or buy a ticket. I wasn't sure yet. I haven't contemplated yet if I'm going to go, but I'm repping my Aces. I got my little shirt on tonight. I love my ladies. I did see them during the regular season on media action. Kelsey Plum is probably one of my favorite players off that team, aside from Asia. She brings it every time. She brings it every game. I call her Plum Sauce for a reason, because she's saucy. She comes with all that energy. She always brings her A game. She's very scrappy. And I think coming off the bench is the best position for her than as opposed to when she used to start, and to have Rakenna Williams and Chelsea Gray. I didn't see her numbers. I don't know if she was active, or Jackie Young, or how she did, or De'Erica, or any of those girls. But I'm expecting tomorrow night's game to be a win for us. I know we go on the road and we do an away game out in Phoenix. And I think that energy out there in Phoenix is probably going to wake them up a little bit. So I don't think this is going to be an easy series for us, but I don't think it's going to be too challenging either. I just kind of want to see a really good game. I want our girls to advance. I want us to be the first in the city, me being born and raised, to see a championship come from these ladies, to Mel's point. But we will see. We will see. And to your point about Liz, I'm very curious about her conditioning, and as far as her physicality and how well she will perform and not get into too much foul trouble on tomorrow night's game either.
Yeah. I think it's smart how Bill is kind of bringing her along slowly to, just kind of testing the waters, because the thing is, whether she has to, if in the next round, whether she's facing Jonquel Jones or if she's facing Candace Parker and Azare in the paint, it's neither one of those options are easy. So I think it makes sense. Maybe, not that he's saying we're definitely going to make it, but he is saying, hey, let's ease it along, and then we'll see how Liz can do. Because when she is on the court, you can't mess with her. You just can't.
For sure. Most definitely. And I think he made a good point too, in that he also has he has a good core group now that he can rotate in. He's still got Jisoo, and he's got Kia, and he's got all these other players that he made a point of it in the press conference that, hey, I don't care who you are, you're going to have some time. You're going to get played in the playoffs. It might be
good.
Here
He
or
needs
there.
to do that.
Yeah.
He needs to rotate his players. He needs to have the unexpected happen. He needs to make a change up so these players are not adjusting to who they're going and defending up against. So he needs to do those things. I want to see more time from these ladies. So that'll be good. That's a good strategy that he needs to have happen. So let's make sure that gets executed well.
Yeah.
Maggie, one last question for me. Oh, go ahead. What were we going to say?
Oh, when you were talking about Kelsey Plum and her sauciness, it was funny when the Phoenix players were leaving, I said to Diana Taurasi, hey, did you want to stay and ask any questions? And she said, no, I heard Kelsey Plum talk enough tonight. I love that. I was like, yeah. That's some game respecting game right there. Yeah. If Diana Taurasi saying that you're talking too much.
Good.
Right.
She's got it. She's got it in her. God, yeah, she's a great girl. Great lady, yes. Before we let you go, because you are a big traveler, I know I like to travel. Mo enjoys traveling. You're traveling for work, of course, differently. But is there any things that are your must-haves when traveling, like that you either have to make sure that you're bringing with you, or items that you have to get once there, not work-related, just something that you need personally for you?
Yeah, it's pretty nerdy. I'm cross stitch. Like I do embroidery stuff. And when I went on all of my Olympic trials trips, I didn't bring anything with me. And I realized by the end of it, I was going crazy because I hadn't done that. And so this time I made sure don't tell my mom, I'm working on a cross stitch present for my mom. And so I did a ton of it on the plane. And even if I just do it for like 5 minutes, it just like relaxes me and like kind of grounds me.
That's great. We all need something to take us away from everything else. So wonderful. Yeah. Hey, we thank you so much. Hopefully I may be there. I didn't sign up originally for it because I had a couple other things to do, but I'll see if I make it there tomorrow. If not, I'll be watching at some point, if not as a fan. And we'll definitely stay in touch. We'll be following you and all your updates. So thank you so much for joining us. We thank you again, and please enjoy the rest of Vegas for what it's worth.
I will. Thank you so much, ladies. I'll talk to you
and
soon.
Maybe we'll be back for the finals or anything, who knows?
Maybe. Thanks, ladies.
Have a good one. Thanks. Bye. So the weather is nice here. Like, it was beautiful today. I don't know, Mo, if you had a chance to get out there. And it's like 80, 70 degrees. Myself, I left all my windows open just so I could, kind of get some fresh air and stuff. And now I can hear Tilly out there having a barking parade, which, Tilly hasn't been a factor in any of the podcasts lately. She's been very quiet, but for some reason, I don't know what's out there today, but she's going off. So I apologize ahead of time in case anyone hears her like I can hear her.
I don't hear her, so you're good.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's good. Maybe the mic is working then. That's wonderful.
Yeah. I don't hear
Anyway. Her. Yeah.
And the weather has been bomb.
The weather has been great. It's been wonderful. Did you get to enjoy your day off today?
I had a busy day off, but
yeah,
it's always something, right? That's why you have the days off, thinking that you have a day off, but you don't have a day off. You have a lot of stuff going on. So it's all good though. It's all good.
It's all good.
And
but
it's always changing in the world of sports, all this news. So what you got for us tonight?
Some hot topics. Richard Sherman and Josh Gordon sign with the Bucks.
Yeah, I saw kind of like almost like a marriage proposal to Tom from Richard Sherman. Like I'm coming.
Yeah,
to
that
you.
was from, I think, one of the. I don't know if that was a Super Bowl. I don't think it was Super Bowl, but
yeah,
I think it was.
I'm.
Apparently, Tom made the call personally to him, and that's kind of what did it for Richard. And
it's like if LeBron calls you, answer. You're gonna go.
Okay. I mean, I get, the Bucks. They lost a game. They're 2-1. They lost the Rams at SoFi last weekend. I just does the Bucks have like undisposable amounts of money, kind of like the Yankees? Like, you just don't question who they're signing because they just always have money. Because
I think it's because of Tom Brady.
Everybody gets signed.
I think it's because it's Tom Brady. They're not asking much on the money. I'm sure Richard Sherman's not asking for a bag to go over there. He gets a chance to play with Tom Brady with a possible hopes of a championship.
I mean, he could, but he doesn't have
to.
People want to talk about Josh Gordon and his issues, and I'm like, but does anybody remember Richard Sherman's incident from earlier this year too? Like, Josh
Gordon's has been a consistent thing of him in and out, and it's an addiction thing. And unfortunately, that's more of a sickness than his problem. But at the end of the day, he's not getting a fat check either. He's just getting an opportunity to play, and why not play with someone the greatest?
I just don't see why Seattle, that has real bad secondary right now, didn't think ahead of time to be like, yeah, let's just get Sherman back. Like, why not? He was open to it. That was addressed earlier in in the summer. He would be open to coming to Seattle.
It's Tom Brady. I'm just like, again, I don't like Tom. I don't. But you got to respect his gangsta. I mean, the man is an OG. He's a legend. Who would not want to go play for Tom Brady? That's just what it is. He wins.
It's just crazy. Oh my gosh.
You guys need help. And it would have been nice if he did that charity work for you guys, but he didn't.
It would have been nice.
Yeah, now you gotta go look somewhere else. Maybe Deshaun Watson could come in as backup. I don't know.
It's not even a QB situation. We need a secondary help. We need people to cover. We need, cornerbacks.
Hey, you spent your bag on Russell Wilson. I mean,
I know, and that's why
you should have. That's
why I said, like, I'd be sad if he left. At the same time, as I would have been happy to have more money to work with, because we can't win with just Russell Wilson. That's not happening.
No, you can't.
Especially when he can't play, and they're not even playing in the second half. Like, beyond us having no defense, we're not even playing offense in the second half. We score 17 in the first in the last two games, and then we score like 3 or 4 points in the
Minnesota just balled out. I mean, 3 TDs in the first half of the game.
Balled out with their starting running back injured and not even playing.
That's crazy. So where's the D on that? Defense was on a milk carton Sunday for y'all. I was shocked. I honestly was shocked. I do have an
I was shocked. You know me, I get pissed.
I didn't even talk to you the whole day. I knew, I knew
was
where you
hot.
were, and I knew where your headspace was, and I let you ride. You know what I mean?
And my thing, we're
It's just
paying Jamal
unfortunate.
Adams all this money now. Where are you? I know it's not a one-man show, like I put in a Facebook post, and it's not a one-man show. One person can't do it all, especially on defense. But I was seeing, Bobby still getting sacks and making some moves. I know that like our CBs, our safeties, they're a little out of touch, but come on, like Jamal, where are you? I'm not seeing the big plays that I was seeing towards, the end of the season last year once we acquired him. So I need that same consistency now that you're getting a fat check.
It's early. You guys you got time. You got plenty of time.
But it's
very early.
We're in the NFC West, so there really isn't time to, we're going to San Francisco this weekend. Like,
good luck. Good luck. That's all I can say. You guys are playing these interdivisional games. You guys are sitting in the same position the Chiefs are with our AFC West. They're wondering why they're crumbling. I mean, like I said, it's early. Everybody's schedule is totally different. We've got a schedule that's going to the tide will turn for my team as well. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we're going to ride this wave as best as we can. For the most part, you guys
have the Chargers this weekend?
We do have the Chargers this weekend, but again, that's another black hole situation because LA is dominant of Raiders fans. So it's not like they're going to be too many Charger fans in the building. I mean, there'll be a few, but it's mostly Raider dominated. So it's like a second home for us.
Yeah, well, the Chargers didn't even have fans in San Diego. So
and the thing of it is we still have to be careful. We still have to be cautionary. Justin Herbert is looking nice out there. And the line is looking really nice out there. And we need Andre James to step up and snap the ball properly and not over snap. We need communication between Derek Carr and Foster Moreau to be better, not throw picks in opening plays. We need all of that. And I think with the mistakes that were made and the stress of the fans from the last game, they're not going to bring that stress test again this Sunday. They better not do that. You know what I mean?
Don't want that.
We don't want that.
What was that second overtime back to back? Like,
oh my God. I mean, it was just intense. I mean, everybody in Raider Nation, salute to the Raider Nation family that reached out to me because everybody poured a tall drink after that game, myself included. You know, you pour a glass of wine and you only fill it halfway. That's filling a wine glass. I filled it up to the brim and drank the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because
I felt like, I could have given you my cardiac arrest machinery that I've used in my previous seasons. I could have given it to you to borrow for that game because that was an intense game.
It was. And honestly, I'm so glad I didn't go to that game because somebody would have to come up for bail money for me against the Miami fans or something. So I'm glad I wasn't at that game. I told my dad, I said, I'm glad we didn't go. I'm glad that it was a game we could have missed because you probably would have had a coronary next to me and I would have been probably throwing bows. It would have been an interesting situation, and it was good that I was at home because to be that stressed, I don't think I could publicly handle that. I know I couldn't have. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these next upcoming games, but I'll try to be cool. I'll be cool. But yeah,
it is.
Week 3 is very interesting. It's a lot of upsets. I mean, I didn't expect those Chargers to go to Arrowhead and beat Kansas City like that, but it's kind of like how we went to Arrowhead last season.
Well, and at least you weren't a Niners fan this weekend.
Yeah.
The way the Aaron Rodgers put his
you cannot
double check
out when 30 seconds are left on the clock. That is still too
no
much time.
timeout.
You give him
down
possession.
by 2.
You do not want to do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. It's just unheard of. You can't do it. Talk about
like better. Have you seen all the videos of fans Packers fans that were in the game? They're like, it's all right. You don't even know. You don't know what you just did. I saw that video.
The guy was just sitting there nonchalant because they know they're OG. They know Aaron Rodgers. They know. And we've always speculated because it's the end of the season. He's out of there. He may not care. He may not want to do something. But I think he was feeling himself in that game. And he was feeling his players because his players were balling out for him.
You saw on his face. He was like, oh yeah?
Oh, yeah? I got something to show you. Yeah, 49ers thought they was going to sit on that 3-0. And I almost felt bad for you. I said, God, if her whole division is at a 3-0 and she's sitting on 1-2, I got to do a welfare check on this lady and make sure she's okay. But that 2-1 kind of softens the blow a little bit. So at least you have that going on. Because our Chargers are 2-1. But you know what I mean? It's not, Raiders and Denver Broncos sitting on 3-0 and they're puffed up. They played the Jets last week. Okay, we'll get that 3-0. Okay, that's cool. But it's like I said, it's early.
It is.
I'm not getting too hyped.
It's still early.
I mean, you're undefeated early into the thing. And shout out to the Raiders of not having this since 2002. We went Super Bowl bound the last time that happened, and You know, the sports books are keep changing. They're moving our needle up, saying that we predicated to win the Super Bowl. I think we're at
You
plus
guys are
600
looking
or
good. I
something
mean,
like that.
like you said, give Derek Carr credit. He's making moves,
Hey,
and
he's a stud.
he's got the weapons out there.
I'm seeing a 2016 before injury MVP looking Derek Carr right now, and I'm loving it. And I'm loving that he's spreading the ball around. I'm loving that HR3 is not on a milk carton anymore like last season. I'm loving that he's getting contact. I'm loving our special teams, and I'm loving the safety Jonathan Avery stepping up on his D and not getting hurt. Knock on wood. You know, we have no great 28s, and you know, for some of those, when we get down to the end zone, when we need a rush yard to make a touchdown, that's where Josh Jacobs is really, really key and essential. And we see the miss on that. But shout out to Carl Nassib, who was at the game last night on the defense side. Shout out to Mad Max. You know, he's always
KJ Wright was there.
KJ Wright. Yeah, I love it. I saw it. And I was like,
sad about that.
You love to see that. You know, so and to see Mark Davis in the stands on the TV vantage point of sitting there in the stands in overtime looking calm should have calmed me down, but it did. We're all stressed. The owner's sitting there chilling. It's like we're all stressed, you know.
But it's hard not to when it's your team and it comes to games like these. It's like the weekend stress is real. Like you think you're gonna have a relaxing weekend because you're off or whatever. Boom, it's sports, and boom, sports are driving you crazy.
It is. It's a whole day. I mean, I watched the whole day, and not to mention you had a preseason startup of the Sharks and Knights game, and it was kind of like I've been watching sports all evening,
all day. Yeah, and the Knights lost then, but they did play yesterday too. Here's the other thing I need to say about. I have yet to experience the multiple Vegas games traffic let out because it hasn't really happened here yet. But last night, the Aces and the Vegas Golden Knights, who are literally like 2 blocks away, let out at the same time.
How'd that look?
Dean Martin was a mess.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I can't even, and that's with 7,000. And I don't know how many were at the Vegas Golden Knights preseason, but let's say less than 20,000 total. Imagine it being a Raiders game and a Vegas Golden Knights hockey game on the same night, letting out.
It's coming.
The freeway's going to be crazy. The strip's going to be crazy. Like,
you best to get a room that night and chill. I mean, real talk.
Or wait around and hang out in the parking lot until it's done.
Like, or go have dinner or something after the game, you know, whatever the case. Because it's not going to be easy getting out of there.
It's not going to be easy. Have you had a chance to watch? I know that you work usually on Mondays, but the Monday Night Football with Eli and Peyton. Man,
I didn't see it. I missed it.
These two not only obviously have an expansive, knowledge of quarterbacks in the NFL and football, and
but they're hilarious.
We're hilarious.
They are hilarious because they did commentary on the first week of the football and doing the play calling for the Raiders game that Monday night. It was interesting. Man. So I bet for Cowboys that had to be hilarious.
It was hilarious. I mean, just Eli is ranking on Peyton's head of his size, his head size, and Peyton's going at Eli, and I guess at some point Eli flipped up both middle fingers, and Eli was doing the Dak Prescott warm up with his hips, and it was talk about how he was Shakira. I mean, these guys are hilarious. I kind of have to flip back and forth because I still kind of want to hear commentary from the regular, commentators, but they're hilarious, and I definitely enjoy watching this. So that's on ESPN2 every Monday instead. So that's always intense. But yeah, give it up to Dak and the Cowboys. I mean,
I knew they was going to win, but 20-40 when I looked at the score.
But here's my deal. I have Dak as my fantasy football QB. I get that they have this dynamic now duo of running backs with Zeke as well as this new guy Parsons. But I still need Dak to be hitting points. And the fact that they're letting this ball run nonstop is like really affecting my fantasy.
I need Amari Cooper to get touches too. Like I'm not playing around. I got him on my fantasy too. You giving me 6 points.
He lit up first week and then nothing since.
6 points. Like really? That's what we're doing tonight, Amari? 6 points. That's what you're giving me. I couldn't believe it. Sadly I had inventory, so I couldn't even watch the game. There's no way we can watch our phones or any of that when we're doing inventory. It's a late night on a Monday night for us, so I missed all of that. I could just check in on scores. I saw the 20-40. I was like, well, and then that was the last I saw of the game. So, and then I looked at my fantasy and I saw 6. Really?
I
need y'all to do better. And I need Lamar Jackson. I need Marquise Brown to do better. Listen, I have Lamar Jackson on my fantasy. If he's throwing the ball to you, Marquise Brown, you need to catch those balls. That's what you're paid to do.
Catch those balls.
Those are easy catches that you missed twice going towards the end zone. Marquise Brown, I need you to step up and do better coming week 4. That's all I have to say on my rant on that.
Just do better.
Do better.
Do better.
Sure.
You know, Pittsburgh needs to do better. They ain't doing nothing. I mean, I got Juju still. He's in a hit or miss. I mean,
they're a mess.
The Chiefs have lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
What's happening there? Like,
I think people have figured him out.
Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it?
It's early, but God, dog, I know they didn't want to be in a hole like that.
But this Sunday, we've got a big Sunday night football game. We got Mr. Brady heading back to Gillette Stadium up against Coach Belichick. He made it sound like he wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. It's not a big, emotional thing, and he'll probably get some kind of backlash, I'm sure. I feel like, watching some of those commercials for it, there's fans that are still diehard Brady and thank you for everything that you've done for us. And then there's some fans that are like, why are you here? Don't ever come back. You shouldn't even be in the stadium, even if you're just coming as a visitor.
And then you have those that are a two-face, split in the middle. One half of your face going to be painted Bucks with the 12 on it. The other's going to be New England. I mean, you'll be a two-face.
That was Natalie at the game on Sunday.
Exactly. I don't know what you can... It's going to be interesting. I will be watching, but it's going to be very interesting.
I should have had Natalie on to talk about who she's going to root for on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she'd probably say Brady, but...
I mean, it's a two-face situation. You're definitely going to be a two-face on that.
It's a lot too much. I also wanted to bring up, it was media day for the NBA for most of our teams. We got to take a look at, like your team up in their new gear here.
Yeah.
The rejuvenated Lakers.
I don't have chills from this. I look at it and I'm like, we'll see. I don't think I don't know.
I see a lot of load management.
I see a slip and fall happening. I don't want that to happen. Like I said, I need those courts to be dry. I need them to be dry.
Get them $80,000 jobs, boy.
I need those towel boys to be on it like they never have before.
And I forgot to mention this with Maggie because I brought it up to her yesterday, but seeing these guys in Bulls uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's something that we both never thought we would see management making moves to actually get people to play. And this could be a decent team. Not saying this is a championship team for next year, but this is definitely and it should be a playoff team. They can make the playoffs with this team.
I have to see Caruso in the white headband Caruso, not my gold, not my purple.
Well, yeah, he had a whole video about how he had the nice white jersey and he's keeping the band, he's got the bandana, the white one and
the white,
sing like Lonzo and DeMar DeRozan, like. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm happy to see what the Bulls have going on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this NBA season. I think it's going to be a good one.
Although it was announced that Klay Thompson may not even play till January.
Wow.
And I think most Warriors fans, as well as myself, even thinking about it, we're thinking, hey, he's starting up the season. They said that it may take a little longer. It's more of a slow process. It's patience. And I'm like, that doesn't sound good.
I mean, but they were solid out of the gate. I mean, they went into that playoff stupid seed situation when they actually had really birthed the seed placement anyway without having to play. So I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be all right. Yeah. And by January is actually the right time because then you head into the All-Star season and All-Star break and all that. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. It's just going to be good to see him come back in January. I think that would be a good time because the season starts in December. I mean, you're literally giving them late October, November, November, December, somewhere in there. You're giving them a couple more months and then January hits. And that's good timing. It's not too bad. I'll take that.
I guess it just feels really because, hey, today's, this week's media day. And then you've got, preseason games starting. And then you got the season starting in what is it, in October or something? Or no,
preseason in October, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so just because wow, it's still a few months away. So hey, whatever it can be. And we also want to shout out our aces last night as well because of their fashion. These girls came through with some looks.
Oh, yeah. Look at the heat.
Yeah. And I actually asked Ricky Williams about her outfit because she was in the press and I was like, you wore the right shirt for today's performance.
Oh,
she came out like a dog. And Yeah, she came out going at it, and so I'd asked her, if that's her plan of attack for the rest of the series, because that was something that I knew she probably had, but we hadn't really seen that out of her to come out there like that. 26 points. I think she had 12 or 13 in the first quarter. It was just, it was pretty amazing. But of course, the showstopper from yesterday.
That is the best I've seen her dress coming into a game.
This is the only time I've seen her wear heels, I think.
Aside from when it's an all-star type of thing. But this to me was such a good look for her with the Cheryl Swoops homage and the dress. I mean, it was fire. I honestly did feel that on her. And I liked it. Yeah. I thought
and it was tailored right.
Yes,
and
yes.
All the curves.
Perfect.
She looked great.
Yeah.
Asia looked
everywhere
great.
It needed to lay. Yeah. It's perfect.
Man, it was good.
It was a great outfit.
It was definitely a good one. A couple sneaker drops before we get into our picks, and in case you drop out, who knows? We'll see if your connection lasts today or not. Jesus. So we've got Air Jordan, the Bluebirds October. You said 5th. I had thought it was 7th, but I think they were still undetermined as to when this one may drop. It sounded like, but 5th or 7th. I'm not sure. Because I saw on the Kick site it said something about the 7th, but
Instagram says the 5th. So who knows?
Okay.
House of Heat.
Yeah, because they're not on sneakers or Nike or Jordan, nothing. So you don't even know where these are yet. So it hasn't been confirmed anywhere. But yes, these things are looking like fire.
I like them.
Yeah.
Bluebirds.
I like them a lot.
I'll take it.
For sure.
I like that. I love that blue. Oh yeah, and these
you
A6,
got the Bape and
A6
A6
1090s. Yeah, I do like the colorway of these, and I say French colorway because it's the colors of like Parisian, the red, the white, the blue, and then it's a camo kind of style for those that like the A6. Camo, they're a great running shoe too. I ran a half marathon wearing my A6, and I had no problems in those. It's either A6 or New Balance that you run in, and they have another sneaker out that's pretty dope. You can run into, but the A6.
My mom only wears A6 now. That's all she'll wear.
The A6 are comfortable, especially the gels. You want those.
But those would be too bright for her. She doesn't want those colors. She
okay.
Too bright.
Okay. I understand, Miss Doreen. I understand.
I had to like stalk eBay and like Poshmark for like older models of the A6 that were, because now they're all super bright and neon. And she's like, so I had to find like the gray tones and a little bit of color in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to mom.
Shout out to Miss Doreen.
You got
the Yeezy.
I just wish Yeezy would stop making shoes or stop making. I just can't.
The thing of it is if it's not the Red October, I don't want nothing to do with it. That was my holy grail. If I didn't get that, then I'm kind of cool on all that. And not to mention, he just released these $90 hoodies.
And then those weirdo, like they're like his Croc version of sandals or something. Those things are just like, I don't know.
I call those the T2. They look like they're molded to the shoe.
Yeah,
like they've engulfed it with the mold. Yeah. And then he came out with these $90 hoodies at the Gap that give you like a pregnant pooch belly in the front. They're very baggy in the front.
Who wants a $90 hoodie from the Gap? Those
from the
like
Gap.
$3 hoodies.
From the Gap. Mind you, they have an outlet store. You go get
so you can pick up your Yeezy gear there
for $10. And be good. And I still have my retro Gap. Hey, Gap has good quality hoodies. And I'm so loving the weather change because I'm ready for my hoodies. I'm ready for my sweats.
I'm ready for hoodies. I just don't really want cold yet. Like I'm good with keeping it at 60, 65 will be perfect. I just don't want to get down to those 40s, the windy days. Yeah, I don't want that. And then the last one, we got the Dunk Lows Championship Reds, which are out tomorrow.
Those. Oh my God. If the Aces, I need to get those because those could be my Aces shoes.
Yeah.
And I don't own any Dunks. And I really want a pair of Dunk Lows. I really do. And I always try to go for the crazy colorways, but that one is very simple. And
you said there was green ones coming too. I didn't see green ones, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I was mentioning I was mentioning the ghost green of the Billie Eilish is coming out.
Oh yeah, so that was a reminder. The Billie
Eilish's
are tomorrow.
Yes,
the AJ5 Orange Blazes are Saturday. Yes. The AJ4 Retro Black and Reds, which were nice, are on Saturday.
Yes, a lot of drops. A lot of drops.
If anybody wants to, plug me on the sneakers app one time. I like them Orange Blazes. Actually, I like the Billie Eilish's, that lime green.
I like the Eilish ones. I mean, I need those. I didn't get the ambush in that color, so why not get a AJ1 won in that color. Like that, she
Just
did
speak it
that, and
into
it's a vegan shoe, so they used the vegan leather on it. So not only is it conscious, it's a different one to add to the repertoire. But that thing's gonna be gone just like that with the snap of the fingers. It's Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Them Tito's gonna be ready tomorrow morning at 6:58 a.m.
Them damn
ready
bots.
to click the yeah, the doggone bots ready to click it on.
Just put me on your bot team. Like, let me get a bot for 1 week. Like, let me borrow your bot for 1 week, for one drop.
Would love to have those to add to the repertoire.
No kidding. Before we do our picks, also girl power, I was kind of looking around for girl power, and shout out to Alicia Gibbs who had sent me an article, because I don't be Twitter heavy. I know you're really Twitter heavy. I'm an IG person. I still miss a lot of stuff on Twitter, unfortunately. I try and do best when I'm doing sports and stuff, but I didn't realize. So Katie Nolan, who I'm sure most of you who know sports know Katie Nolan, and being with Fox Sports and ESPN, she had like a podcast called Sports ? With Katie Nolan. She had the Always Late with Katie Nolan on ESPN. She was also always on Highly Questionable a lot. She ends up announcing that she's kind of basically splitting ways with ESPN today. So interesting turn of events. I know that her show had got canceled sometime during the pandemic, and she had been brought over from Fox Sports and was getting like some $1 million contract. And I don't think she was necessarily getting maybe the time or the TV time, or maybe I don't know what you'd call it, the coverage time that maybe she wanted, or maybe that they wanted from her. So she announced she was leaving, and she was going to kind of take some time off to figure out what's next. But girl power to her, because I feel like sometimes we only acknowledge those women that are excelling and doing great things. And I think we should also acknowledge those women that are making decisions for themselves and making better decisions for themselves, and also taking time out to self-care.
Yeah.
Because whatever is going on, if there is anything going on, take a minute, because I think a lot of people get wrapped up in whatever they're doing work-wise and forgetting about everything else. And so definitely take your time to self-care. And I like Katie Nolan. I always thought she had like a very kind of a oddly sense of humor in regards to sports and her sports commentary. So I hope she comes back. I hope it's something great. And girl power to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there we go. I knew Mo would time out at some point, and there it was. So we'll see when she gets back on. I'll just post this one again because it's one of my favorite pictures. I love Kelsey Plum, and I'm so excited for these women, because if they can come back and make this happen to get a championship this year after being in the finals last year, like, we just need this. I just want this championship for the people of Las Vegas, for women, period. Like, that's all I'm focused on right now. It's like, let's get a championship.
We need it.
Yeah, last week's picks, Mo, I won.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Thank you. I
So
think
one and
some
one.
of my underdog picks pulled off. I wish I would have used those on my actual bets, because I literally lost every bet this weekend except for like a 3-teamer on Monday, which might have been my saving grace. But yeah, it was a hard day for sports.
Was rough.
I mean, the sports books are doing well. It's the bettors that are suffering right now. I don't know. Are you betting at all or no?
I'm betting baseball right now. I moved on.
Okay.
I didn't do a ticket. I didn't do a ticket for football this past week because I just wasn't sure. It's very early. I can't ever bet until we get into the 6th week of football.
It's tough.
Like, seriously, because it's very unpredictable right now. Like I said, even just in the fantasy, I didn't expect the struggle of the Ravens to have what they had this past Sunday, because Marquise Brown can't catch a ball. I don't know what's going on.
My fantasy has been slack. I lost both again last week.
I lost my number 1 position in our chicks to Pat.
Yeah.
And she had the Raiders. And I was like, you know what? And they're balling out. And I said, you know what? I'd rather take a legitimate win than I'll just take this L. I have to live with it. But I'm sitting 2-1 on this one. And my guys' league, the Nordy Club, I bombed. So I'm 1-2 with the Nordy Club, Team Nordstrom.
I came close in the girls' league, the guys' league, and not. I mean, it's just, it's
a new week.
I will say this: you learn that Kareem Hunt wasn't doing nothing for the first 2 weeks, so I finally took him out. And he wants to have a 30-point day. Like, of
course, that's how it always is. That's why it's just so tough. You just never know.
Anyways, so we've got Thursday Night Football, the Jaguars at Cincinnati.
Yeah. And we already know where this is going. And I just need Joe Mixon to do some numbers, and I need Chase to do numbers because
And
I have
Tyler
both
Boyd
of them.
to back up his talking after he left at Pittsburgh, saying they just stopped trying. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville. I
Okay.
just, even though they don't got my Minshew no more, I still do appreciate some of the
Because
wide receivers.
they came close this past Sunday. I mean, it wasn't like they were in a dogfight for a little bit and they just kind of lost their steam in the second half. But I'm still going to roll with these Bengals. They're on a roll. Okay. They're pretty solid. The sportsbook's got a -7.5. I'm going to roll with these Bengals for tomorrow night.
All right. Okay. The Titans at the Jets. I think this.
Well, I think we can all say the Titans. Poor Jets.
If you have
Jets,
anybody, if you can get
Jaguars.
maybe Tannehill on your fantasy for a waiver wire, you might as well, because I feel like even though they're a run dominant offense, I feel like it's just gonna be. The Jets. Come on, poor guys. Like, are they ever gonna get it right?
Right.
I don't know. Chiefs at Philly.
I'm going to go with Kansas City on this one. I think they're going to redeem themselves on that Philly Eagles game. If the Cowboys can beat them, then definitely the Chiefs should be able to beat them. I'm going to roll with that.
Yeah, but what I thought was funny is that, the Eagles lost. And did you see Jalen Hurts had a little quote about basically, if you take a poop in the toilet, you don't sit there and watch it, you flush it and you let it go away. Because he's basically saying like, hey, we took a dump here. I'm not going to relive it. I'm getting rid of it and I'm going to the next game. So I'm not saying Philly has much of a chance. Well, I don't know.
They do have a chance. Any team has a chance.
They do, because Kansas City has lost twice in a row.
Yeah, but even got a -7, so I'm going with the Chiefs, honey. They're not going to let that happen again. They're going to make some adjustments and do what they need to do. And I thought, I was like, dang, is Kelsey even playing? Like, I trying to click back and forth on that one. And
is Ertz?
He was there.
Is Ertz back?
I don't think so. So that might be a factor too. I'm not sure.
I'm going to go with Philly just because.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Carolina at Dallas. I feel like this one actually is going to be pretty good.
Christian McCaffrey's still out, right?
He is, but they do have
and they still won without him after that injury.
Yeah. Their defense is pretty good still, but I don't know if it's good for Dallas.
I'm going to go with Dallas.
Yeah.
And I need Amari Cooper to do some work.
I need really Dak and Amari to have that week 1 energy. That's what I need.
No lie.
Week 1 energy. Week 1.
No lie.
Giants and the Saints. Speaking of, who's seen Saquon Barkley? Anybody?
No, he's on a milk carton right now. They have reported him missing.
I mean, I don't have him, but I also haven't heard his name out there at all.
I haven't either.
I haven't been intimidated on my fantasy football.
I haven't even seen any fans post him with a jersey wearing him. No. I haven't seen anything regarding him. He's on a milk carton right now. I think they filed a missing persons report on him. But I'm going to roll with my Saints because they definitely.
Are they good? What happened last week?
They won last week.
Okay.
They sure did.
Domination?
They sure did. Jameis Winston came back and showed y'all like that was a fluke. I made a mistake. I took my foot off the gas. I took a nap. I messed up. Let me redeem myself.
And I don't really trust the Daniel. Is it Daniel
Alvin Kamara had a breakout game too. If you got Kamara on your fantasy, he did very well.
Yep.
So I'm gonna roll with my Saints, my Who Dat Nation. That's my second team. So I'm gonna roll with them.
Browns at Minnesota. I'm sticking with my Brownies.
Yeah, I think they can pull it off in Minnesota. I mean, I don't think they can go for 2 after that Seahawks thing. They might be feeling a little
they already went 0-2. They got one from us. I think it'll be real tough.
I think it will too. I think it will too.
And
Brownies looking good.
And I will put you back in, Cream, as long as you have a great game.
Yeah, Brownies were looking good. So we'll roll with that. I'll go with you on that.
The Lions at Chicago. This one.
Okay, so Justin
Chicago hasn't even announced it, but they don't even know who's going to be the starter.
And they're cutting 3 people. They're talking about announcing cuts. So then you're announcing 3 cuts of 3 players. They posted that today on Bleacher Report. And then who are you replacing them with? So is Nick Foles starting? Because Andy Dalton's hurt. Justin Fields got broke up in his sack lunch against the dog pound. I really don't know. What was a sack,
there was like a 7-piece course meal.
It was a sack lunch. It was the worst game ever to see. They have no offensive line whatsoever. Poor things. I'm gonna roll with the Lions. I think the Lions are gonna get handed their first win. I'm just gonna say it. The sportsbook have Chicago -3, but I think the Lions are going to get handed the first win. I'm just going to go the opposite and say
Here's the deal.
Detroit.
If it
They
was
don't have
Andy
nobody though.
Dalton,
Jesus.
or if Justin Fields is able to turn it, or realize the mistakes.
What's the line looking like? They can't even protect this guy. They have
I
no
know.
line.
But I feel like I don't know.
I think
It's
Detroit.
just-
I know Detroit don't really have much. They're rolling on scraps too.
I know I
mean, it's a
can't
scrap for
it's-
scrap kind of thing.
Although
Sportsbook's
you know
got a
what, I think
-3.
I will say Detroit, because after this last weekend's debacle loss by losing to the Ravens with a 66-yard field goal.
Field goal. Oh my God! Shout out to that kid, Justin Tucker. Did that?
Justin
didn't he?
Tucker, listen,
Wow.
that's the NFL record now for
Why didn't I have
longest
him on? I was like, God, why didn't I have him on my fantasy?
Can you imagine what that one would have been? How many points
Right,
was that? Whoever had
right.
Justin Tucker, make sure you send us a DM or something so we know what the points was looking
Right.
like.
Please do.
I've got Houston at Buffalo. I mean, that's no.
We're going with Buffalo Bills. Poor Texans.
Yeah.
I try to ride with you guys over there, but this is not looking good.
And shout out to
Without
Natasha
Deshaun Watson,
Gransberry.
it's showing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
showing proof that you need Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
You
Shout
need
out to Natasha Gransberry. This is her final stadium of seeing all NFL
Oh,
stadiums.
good. Okay.
So
all
her
right.
and
So
her
someone's
group
on
are
her
heading
tour,
out
yeah.
there to
Nice.
the Buffalo game to watch their
Nice.
Texans
Shout out
play.
to her.
So
She's been to every stadium in the league. That's
everyone
awesome.
except for
Except
Buffalo.
the Legion and she was at SoFi. Yes, she was at SoFi.
She was so far. I don't think
Yes,
she's
she
been.
hasn't been in the Legion yet. She's got to come to the Owl. Yeah.
Yeah. The Colts at Miami. I was impressed with Jacoby Brissett.
I was too. I thought they were really decent, and I like their coach that they have too.
He was,
but
I'll
go with Miami. I'll be nice. We gave him charity work yesterday. I'll give him charity on tonight or this week.
All right. Well, I'm rolling with them too. We got the Washington football team. I'm not going to mess up this time. At Atlanta Falcons.
Man, that's going to be a tough one.
And Julio Jones, I believe, is either going to they said that he may miss Sunday. They're not sure yet, I believe.
Yeah, the line is only at -1.5. That could go either way. I'm
going to go Washington on this.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but I'll go the opposite and see if Atlanta pulls something off.
Another person you never hear about, Matty Ice.
Right.
All right, this next game is going to give me anxiety. I actually have a few friends that are literally trying to get me to come to the game this weekend for a quick weekend.
Yeah, you should. Why not? It's right up over the bay. Man, if Virgin Airlines was still in business, those flights were so cheap to get to the Bay Area. I tell you.
Look, I have no problem packing a backpack, wearing the same Seahawks shoes 2 days in a row.
Spirit, I did that.
But my thing is, my track record going to away games, when I go to them, we usually don't win. B, I'm already scared of this game to begin with.
You guys don't even come in to start a season 1 or 2. This might be the opposite of what you need to do. You may need to go to this game to see the win.
I'm so yeah. If you end up seeing me in a post on Sunday from Levi Stadium, just pray for me, everybody. Please pray for me.
I say you do it. I say you do it. You're not gonna get too many prayers from some of our listeners and watchers like Juan.
Oh, I know, because they're all Niner fans.
You know, because they're all
best believe if I do decide to go and we do somehow miraculously come out with a win, I am not gonna stop talking smack for the rest of the year. Like
you
that's
shouldn't.
it. At all.
I'm
going to say my team because there's no way I would ever go against my team, especially against the Niners. So here's to you.
Niner gang or don't bang. I don't know. Like I want to see your Seahawks pull it off. And the Niners took a strong L last week with Aaron Rodgers.
I know they
want revenge. You guys have something to prove. I just think Kyle Shanahan is going to pull some rabbit out of his hat.
Did you see the plays they were doing with Trey Lance on Sunday? I'm like, Listen, if you guys don't know that there's going to be a lot of different trick plays coming out against us, we have to be ready.
I really wish this was a night game. I really wish this was the evening game. I hate that it's a 105 game. I wish it was a night game for you guys because I really wish.
But of course, it's
that
the same day as Tom and
Of course, that had to
Belichick,
do it. That's the slot. I just really wish this one would have been the night game. But this is going to be one of the best afternoon games to watch, next to the Rams and Cardinals, because they're both sitting on 3-0. But I'm gonna roll.
It's tough.
Jesus.
We've been on this pick for like 5 minutes.
Listen, for you, I'm gonna do Seattle. But on my parlay, I have to put Niner game on bang just to get the money. I already know. But I'm gonna roll with the Seahawks on this. I'm gonna see what Pete Carroll has.
Are you sure? Okay.
Listen, I'm feeling nice for you tonight. I felt bad for you on Sunday. I really did. And I just was like, let me just, it's a Libra thing. It's Libra season right now. We like to be kind.
Yes. Birthday girl coming up.
Yes. Please don't remind me. I can't believe this is happening to me again. But it's a blessing.
It happens every year. What are you talking about?
It does. I mean, it's a blessing that's coming. I just can't believe the number is happening. But anyway, I'm going to roll with the Seahawks. I'm going to see if you guys can pull this off. The line is only at 2.5. That could be anything. You know what I mean? But dang it, if they didn't lose. I really didn't.
Here's the deal. Listen,
lose last week because honestly,
you guys know my conspiracy theory has always been these last 2 years is that whenever Sierra posts something with the both of them prior to the game, we lose. Okay, so Sierra, since she wore that gown of Russell Wilson's jersey to the Met Gala,
which was a mistake.
They haven't won since that dress appeared, and she posted her little twerking thing with him in it on Saturday, the day before the game.
She should have never wore that dress. The dress wasn't even all that to be wearing. Like, first of all, don't represent like that. You could have wore something else different. I get what you were trying to go with, but it did not work, and that's why the team is losing now. I'm going with your conspiracy theory on that because she made a mistake.
So here's my plea to her. Don't post nothing. Post you and the kids in Seahawks gear, ready to cheer your man on. That's fine. Don't post you two together. Don't post you two in a video right before the game. If you want to, post it after the win. After your man wins, celebrate that win, but not beforehand.
Yeah. Niners I honestly did not want them to lose to Green Bay last week. I was going for Green Bay, but I really didn't want them to lose to Green Bay because I knew what was week 4 was looking like, and I knew they were going to either want revenge or they take an L this week instead of last week. But now that they took an L prematurely, and you can't fault that because it's Aaron Rodgers, they going to be coming for blood on y'all. You see chickens. The sea chickens need to really, really, really be on it for real.
Ouch.
Like, I can't
calling. We're name calling now.
No, I like sea chickens though. I mean, you guys really need to get it. The Seahawks really need to do it.
Arlen, sorry, I've kind of not really checked in on the
they want some revenge. That's what I'm saying. They want revenge.
And yes, Arlington, I can be very superstitious. Like, there was one season that I wore the one jersey that won for me every game because I knew it was winning. And then last year it didn't win. So then I was like, well, do I still wear it? I mean,
I say you go. Because you need to do the polar opposite of what's been happening. You guys have never started season 1 and 2. So maybe the opposite is that you go to this game.
Well, yeah, because we've started seasons 0-4 before. I mean, it's never been the last few seasons.
Right. But... No. Not the teams that y'all could have beat. Like, this is ridiculous.
Right. Who would have
This is your first actual
Titans
game. Yeah, like, come on.
The
Minnesota
Vikings.
Like, come on.
The Titans at home on a season opener?
That's what I'm saying. Like, in Minnesota, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this should have been the challenge. This is the game. You know what I mean?
I know.
I'm not trying to name call you sea chickens, but I like saying sea chickens. I just think it's funny. But yeah,
Arlington,
I want you
I see you. I didn't pick them to pick I didn't pick any. The NFC West is the hardest division, period.
It is.
And it's going to come down, to who's not injured, who's been able to, make appropriate adjustments. I think one injury can take any team down. Majority of them.
Listen, it's early.
All right.
Cardinals and Rams. Let's go.
Cardinals and Rams.
I'm going with those
I'm
Rams.
gonna go with the Rams because
I'm
they're
going
at
with the
home.
Rams.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Matt Stafford is looking phenomenal. Wait a minute. He's looking really good out there.
Like, is this what was being hidden the whole time?
Matt
Like,
Stafford, this is what we've been
you've been holding this?
Detroit? Is this what we've been missing? I'm going with the Rams.
I'm sure it does help that he has some targets and some actual,
absolutely.
a team behind it.
Absolutely.
It is interesting to see how a quarterback can change just
absolutely
scenery.
With new scenery, you're in the West Coast, which is the best coast. That's the longevity of life. You need these beaches. You're doing great. He looks phenomenal.
Pittsburgh at Green Bay. I think that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Green Bay Packers on that. Go Pack, go.
Baltimore at Denver.
Okay, so this will be a legitimate
contest for
game
Denver
to see if Teddy Bridgewater, and I'm going with Baltimore because I got Lamar on my team, and I don't want nobody in the AFC West taking they're 3-0. I want them to take this L so we can be a number one. So I'm going to be a hater on this pick and go with the Ravens on that. And I need Marquise Brown to catch that ball. Like I said,
I want you to take all that. I'm going to go with Denver though, just because we can have one against each other. But I also like Teddy. I really enjoy Teddy Bridgewater, and to talk about someone who fits well and has basically changed this team. Like, nobody thought Denver was going 3-0.
Nobody thought the Raiders were going 3-0. I mean, these are anomalies that we're seeing right now against, some top teams, except for them. They played the Jets last week. I mean, we could have you and I together could have beat the Jets. I'm just saying, with them, I need them to take a peg down so we can be in this top conference here of our division.
All right, Bucks at New England.
Oh, jeez. I'm going with the Bucks. New England's not really doing.
They just lost James White too for the whole season.
They did.
Running back.
Thank God I don't have any New England players.
At least they got the home field, but I think a lot of those people in the stands will probably still be cheering for him.
Tom Brady took an L last week. He wants revenge too.
Yeah.
So he's gonna want to show improve. So I'm gonna go with that.
Plus, when do the new players get to pop on? Does Josh Gordon? Does Richard Sherman get a start up too?
This week? I don't know.
They signed, so who knows?
They got time. They could definitely start for week 4. They got time. It's only Wednesday.
The Raiders at the Chargers.
I'm going with my Raiders. Justin Herbert looks like a stud out there. I see it. They've got a great coach out there that has really changed the dynamic of the team. They're running on all cylinders. They're looking really solid. However, it's still black hole in LA. I tell people this all the time. You think you're seeing Raider fans here? Wait till you see it in SoFi.
It was like the Cowboy fans out there the other night.
Yeah, it's like we still, you're still gonna have a black hole situation out there. So with the Raider fans in the building, I don't think we're going to be set up for disappointment. Like I said, Carr has been playing amazing. He is the only one in the league right now that is in the $1,000 mark of passing yards. I mean, even with the overtime game, he's still at 832. I think he ended. So I mean, he's balling out right now. He's got good targets. So I'm going with my Raiders. It's going to be a scrap game. It's not about the dog fight, but it's not about a dog fight. It's the fight in the dog. So we're going to see which one is going to really be bringing it. And I just hope my Raiders can pull it through. That's a game I honestly want to go to, because that's going to be a good Monday nighter for everybody to watch.
Oh, yeah, the Monday night game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we sit pretty on Sunday. I can rest on Sunday and watch everybody else play. But Monday's going to be oh, my God, let's go.
Are you going to be able to watch it?
Yeah. Because there's no inventory or nothing. So, on my phone, I have the app and stuff. So good. And, shout out to Josephine, a store manager who's diehard Raider Nation, who's running number 1 in the Nordy Club League. And she's killing it in our Chicks League, too. She's ready. I think we had a conversation about her possibly trying to watch that game or make it to that game or do something. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I got my Raiders. I'm going with my Raiders.
I'm going to roll with your Raiders. I mean, I'm not mad at them. They're doing good. I'm impressed by the wide receivers. I'm impressed and plus now that you have KJ, like I feel like there's a part of me in the Raiders now. Like there's a little little sliver.
Yeah.
And it is
a sliver.
The home team of Vegas.
Yeah, the home team Vegas. That's fair.
I've never been a Raider hater, of course. I'm all with it.
Yeah.
That quarterback for the Chargers though, Put a decent
just
enough
I
team
mean,
around
and
him.
not to mention you're in SoFi, a whole new stadium. So they've been doing well in SoFi.
They're gonna get people that'll want to come to the Chargers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's Charger fans are going to be there. I'm just saying
Well,
it's
here's the
second LA
deal.
home
I'm
for
talking
us.
like players. If they got some more higher, elite player. I mean, they got Austin Eckler, and you've got, but I'm talking like you've got some like, some big names that came and traded over free agency wise. I think the Chargers could easily be a major contender the next few years. But anyways, closing thoughts is that my Mariners, this is interesting because in the last week, there's been a score in the first inning or two. It's now at the bottom of the fifth, I think, and it's 0-0. So it's the last of our series with the A's. We won the last two. Haniger is a beast, hit his 100th home run, had 2 3-run home runs in one game 2 days ago. I think we beat them 14-2.
Nice.
But we got to keep it. We got to keep winning. If we don't win, we don't get in.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, congratulations to my Dodgers as of last week. We hit the $100 win or 100 win mark. I don't know why it's talk money. So now we're 101 wins, and we are beating San Diego Padres right now 5-3 with the bottom of the third. It's a night game going on right now, but we still play in the wild card. It's not like we can just get in.
You're still playing in the wild card?
We're a wild card, yeah.
Oh, because the Giants.
First time in a long time that Dodgers have to face in a wild card. So, like I said, baseball, you just never know. But we got to win tonight, so we'll see. We just need those Giants to take dumps for the next, how many games left of baseball? 5 games
like
in the regular,
5
left in the regular season. Yeah, we need to take a dump on all 5. It's game series.
All right, we're gonna get out of here because we've gone definitely way over time.
Yes, we did.
But the Pick'ems is a good spot in the show. So if nothing else, just fast forward through the show and make it to Pick'ems because it's entertaining discussions. Anyways, we appreciate you all. We'll be back next Wednesday. Another show, another round, same time, same channel. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube at Girl Chat Sports. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, and check us out. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Yep, and we out.